And Southwest is a specific culture that allows people to feel happy and empowered. United, for whatever reason, still hasn't been able to develop that culture. And that basically is what I want to speak to you about today during this presentation, and what I refer to as the gift of gab, and how you can engage your employees, and how when you engage your employees, you're going to retain those employees. When you retain those employees because they're engaged, you're going to have more satisfied customers. And when you have more satisfied customers, you're going to grow your business. In a survey done by the NRHA a couple of months back, it surveyed over 1,000 independent hardware retailers. It asked the retailers what was the biggest challenge facing them. And does anyone want to just shout out what you think the biggest challenge facing retailers as determined by that survey was? Any comments? Employees? Yeah? Anyone else? Amazon, okay, came up as well, and employees again. They were actually the two main things that came up. But the one that came top of the list was employees. Research also does show that engaged employees make a difference to an organization. So what you've got is you've got a challenge with maintaining and recruiting employees, but you've also then got a challenge to make sure that they are engaged and they're going to do the job properly. Now, what are the chances of you being able to give a major salary hike to your employees to make them feel that they're millionaires? Zero, right? I understand that. But what are the chances of you making those employees feel better about themselves, helping those employees to enjoy the job better? Each of you here can do that. And if you can get your employees to be more engaged, to enjoy the job better, what's going to happen is that you're going to get better customer service. And when you get better customer service, you're going to have those customers saying good things about your retail outlet, and you're going to be growing your business. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about today is a concept called the gift of gab. And you're probably saying, well, the Irish are famous for the gift of gab, which some people say is our ability to spew out voluminous torrents of words without pausing for breath. Others suggest it's our ability to paint evocative word pictures that has the listener crying sorrowful tears into their pint of Guinness, while in the background someone is singing Danny Boy, and of course out of tune. And then others say that the Irish are good at BS. There's no need to agree. But as I come from a business background, BS to me means breakthrough strategy, or business strategy, or brand strategy. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. But the gift of gab that I particularly want to reference is GAB as an acronym for goals, attitude, behavior. Goals, attitudes, behavior. And if you adopt and adapt this concept of goals, attitudes, behavior, it will help you genuinely to create what I refer to as a top of the morning customer and employee experience. And when you do that, you're going to grow your revenues. You're going to grow your business. So the gift of gab, goals, attitudes, behavior. Now, how many people here in this room would like to have even more engaged employees? Right? I see hands being raised left, right, and center. All right. Here's the thing, gang. Just because you want something to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. And if you leave here just saying, I want to have more engaged employees and do nothing about it, it ain't going to happen. So I'll tell you a little story about Patrick to illustrate the importance of doing something. Patrick was a good-living Irishman who ran into some financial difficulties due to gambling, womanizing, and drinking. Patrick's granddad died, and Patrick went out to the granddad's house to clear out the house. He went out to the garage to clear out the garage, and he brushed against a lamp. And out of the lamp popped a leprechaun. Get with the program, my people. Get with the program, all right? So the leprechaun said, what can I do for you, Patrick? And Patrick said, leprechaun, if you let me win the lottery, I'll pay off all of my debts and I'll give the rest of it away to charity. I don't really want the money anymore. And the leprechaun says, Patrick, I like your goals, I like your attitude, that shows good behavior. I'll let you win the lottery. 1 week goes by and there's no lottery win. 2 weeks go by and no lottery win. And after week 3 and no lottery win, Patrick goes out to the garage again. He brushes against the lamp, and out of the lamp pops a... Hey, very good. Fast learning audience here. The leprechaun says, yes, Patrick, what can I do for you now? Leprechaun, you told me I'd win the lottery. And the leprechaun says, Patrick, give me some help here. At least buy a lottery ticket. Now, that's a goofball story. It's a true story as well, by the way, but it's also a story with a moral. And the moral is that just because you desperately want something to happen does not mean it's going to happen. Just because you want to get more engaged employees to get better customer satisfaction does not mean it's going to happen because you want it to happen. You've got to make things, do things, and encourage them. And what we'll go through here when we're talking about the gift of gab, goals, attitudes, behavior, is to give you some down-to-earth, practical ideas that you can leave Indianapolis with that will help you to get more engaged employees and better customer service. So are we ready to rock? Are we ready to roll? All right, let's go with this rigmarole. Goals, attitudes, behavior. What he did have, though, was a clear goal and a clear vision as to what success would look like. He could see it, he could visualize it, he could imagine it. And it was that clear visualization, that clear imagination that energized him, got him out of bed every morning, and helped him to build Starbucks to the amazing business that it is today. Out of curiosity, does anyone have any idea how many Starbucks units there are on a global basis? Someone said too many. All right, that's a reaction from some people. There's actually about 25,000 Starbucks units on a global basis. And Starbucks is now so ubiquitous, and literally almost on every corner, as some person suggested there, that the Onion newspaper, our website, ran a headline a few months back that said, "Next Starbucks unit to open in restroom of Starbucks unit." Now, that's how ubiquitous Starbucks became, but they became ubiquitous because Howard Schultz had a clear goal and a clear vision as to what success would look like. He could see it, he could visualize it, he could imagine it. And it was that clear visualization that helped to make Starbucks the amazing business that it is today. They've had some flubs, but in general, for an organization that size, they're astonishingly successful, creating a great brand experience and brand loyalty. And that's what you want to create. Now, I'm not going to ask you what your clear goal and vision is right now, but I am going to ask you to think about one question and just reframe the question about goals. And the question I would like you to think about, I'll give you about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to think about it. You can write down the answer if you wish, because this is going to determine to a great extent your level of success going forward. The question that relates to goals here is, what do I want my Do It Best store to be famous for? What do I want my outlet or outlets to be famous for? Now, I'll give you 30 to 45 seconds to think about that. If you know and you can answer that without thinking about it, you're well on the way to making it happen. If you're wondering, what do I really want to be famous for? You've got some more work to do, I would suggest. So I'll just give you 30 to 45 seconds to think about it, and then I'll come back to it. What do I want my outlet to be famous for? Some of you may say, I know what I want my outlet to be famous for. We've got a group of people here from Northern California who are just about to open their first Do It Best store, and I think that would be a really powerful question for them to ask themselves. But here's the thing, you might think you know what I want my retail store to be famous for. Do your employees know what you want it to be famous for? And that's one of the issues that I think often impacts organizations. That while the people at the top of the organization might say, all right, we want to be famous for great customer service, reliability, being proactive, etc., it doesn't feed down through the organization. One of the ways that you can get your employees more engaged is by making it clear to them and getting consensus that our goal for this retail outlet is we want to be famous for. And we want Mrs. Murphy or Mrs. McGrath or whoever else comes in on a Tuesday morning to leave saying that place is really good for providing advice, for good service, being proactive, friendly, whatever it is. But it ain't going to happen just because you want it to happen. It ain't going to happen just because you're the only person that knows it. You need to make sure that the rest of your employees are aware of it as well. So that's the first element of GAB, talking about clear goals and vision. Now, there are a few things you can actually do to help you to drive this famous goal through your organization.